To the stage, Anne Widdecombe.
Mike, have you put that on that chair?
Thank you very much. Now, do you think that we can remain a member of the EU and make our own laws?
No.
Do you think we can remain a member of the EU and control our own borders?
No.
Do you think we can remain a member of the EU and organise our own trade deals? No. And do you think that we can remain a member of the EU and be governed by our own democratically elected government? No. Well, those 4 no's are why 17.4 million people voted to get out of the EU. And when you hear those patronising nincompoops saying that, oh dear, we didn't really know what we were voting for, those 4 no's are the answer. That was what we were voting for. But what were they voting for? Well, the exact converse. They were voting to live in a country which could not make its own laws, secure its own trade deals, control its own borders, and choose its own government. What sort of Britain is that? And what I want to know is, how could they vote for that scenario? And yet, we have been comprehensively betrayed. And it isn't just the 17.4 million who have been betrayed. It is also generations to come who, if they have their way, will not grow up in an independent, self-governing country. They have been betrayed. And the efforts and the sacrifice and the sheer determination of 2 generations ago who fought so hard for our freedom, they also will have been betrayed. And we cannot let that betrayal take place. Now, Theresa May and Jeremy Corbyn want to turn Britain into a doormat over which Juncker can tread his dirty feet, over which Barnier can stamp in whichever direction he wants to go. Instead of that, what we want is to get rid of that doormat and to leave. And our message to them is really very simple. Either they let Britain leave, or we will make them leave. And we will clear out the Augean stables that is Westminster at the moment. A parliament full of cowards. A parliament that is against democracy. A parliament that believes that its will is more important than the will of the people. Despite the fact that they promised, both major parties in their manifestos in 2017 promised that they would implement the result of the referendum. Well, where is it? It simply hasn't happened, and if they have their way, it never will happen. Now, one of my most enjoyable moments after the local elections was the expression on Jeremy Corbyn's face as he realised that far from gaining hundreds of seats, which was their pre-election boast, hundreds of seats they were going to gain as a result of their fudge. Instead of that, they lost scores of seats, and therefore he is now in a very weak position. And does the Prime Minister take advantage of that? Does she say to him, right, Jeremy, this is it, now you've absolutely got to get behind a Brexit? No. She says, oh, do you want a customs union, Jeremy? Certainly. Oh, Jeremy, do you want to stay aligned to the single market? Oh, certainly. Oh, Jeremy, you still want us to be governed by EU law? Oh, Jeremy, just tell me how much of that law you still want us to be governed by. What a nincompoop. She has not got the leadership skills required to be a brown owl. In fact, I wonder if she has any leadership skills at all. But the one thing she doesn't have is determination to deliver what all of us here, well, with one or two exceptions, voted for. And that is her task. That is Corbyn's task. They are not doing it. Okay, so we will do it for them. And it is very simple. When we have had a massive victory on May the 23rd, we will then see what happens. And if they finally deliver Brexit, all well and good. But if they don't, then we will go to Westminster and we'll deliver Brexit.
It's great. On your feet.